Well, I didn't expect that to beep quite so quickly. I actually pressed the button. Usually it takes like a few moments for it to fire up. So this is kind of a spoiler on the board here because this is a video that's currently uploading to the channel on Andrei Vasilevsky's career. And I don't really need the board for this video. I just wanted to talk about the two reality shows that I'm watching right now that have my vested interest. And I say it because we're also watching Love is Blind Argentina, which is kind of ridiculous. One thing about the Love is Blind series, it is always interesting watching international editions. For instance, with you don't talk with your back to the camera, of course, as a YouTuber, that's frowned upon. But um, with it being Argentina, one thing that stood out to me really quickly was how quickly these people say "I love you" to each other. Because on the American one, that's treated like that's big, man. They said "I love you." Did they say they said it? So bizarre. And on the Argentinian one, they're like, "Yep, I love you. Yeah, love you too. Cool. All right. Well, we love each other." I'm like, wow, this is different. Definitely different. All right, but that being said, so I'm watching Traitors Canada, which I've talked about before, and this week they failed to get a traitor again, and we're getting down to numbers where the traitors have all the power. At this point in time, Traitors Canada season 2 is a mix of like the conversations become one of, well, this group of faithful, they're idiots, and I've heard them saying that about themselves. When people get banished, they say it as well. I can't find an argument where they're not, but I think this year's Traitors, I think Ned has played really well, staying under the radar, talking here and there, and just seemingly being along for the ride. And I understand that like now people are starting to look at her because there aren't many options left. um, Kira, I honestly hope Kira wins the whole thing. I think she has been absolutely fantastic. She has really gone after Michael John, maybe a little too much. So if they get Michael John, who half the people think, well, yeah, he's a traitor, but man, I talked about that before. But if they get Michael John and he stands up and goes, "Yep, I'm a traitor," Kira will be the next one out because people are gonna be like, Kira went way too hard for him and clearly knew something and kept trying to tell us. So our guess is they weren't getting along, which is true. Um, so that'll happen. I was kind of surprised that they murdered Mike this week. I'm disappointed because I like Mike a lot. I thought it would have been great if he just kind of shrugged his way to the money. Um, but yeah, so at this point in time, it definitely looks like Traitors are going to win. It's a matter of how many and which ones. So I'm gonna say this too. I think that the Traitors this year have stayed under the radar because they're not fighting with people. I mean, Michael John, sure, a little bit, but Kira and Netta are not fighting with people, and so when people are getting eliminated, they're picking random people. They're going, this one's seen as faithful, that one's seen as faithful. Nobody's going to suspect them. There isn't a pattern, and when there isn't a pattern, there's nothing to follow. So, whereas some seasons of the Traitors, you can see there's a pattern where certain people are getting picked off, certain groups are being picked off. This season for Canada, there isn't one. So it leaves the faithful having to go on conjecture, go on, I think this happened. Well, I think this is, traitorous behavior. The one that drives me insane is, well, this person wasn't trying that hard to win the money. Seems like they're sabotaging us. I think they're a traitor. No, the sabotage is the mole. This is not the mole. The traitor wants to get as much money as possible because they get all of it. So it makes no sense for a traitor to go out there and go, I don't care about the money, when they get to win all of it. They're not sharing it. It makes more sense for faithfuls to kind of half-ass it, like, well, I'm not going to get all the money anyways, and with the way things are going, who cares? And so, yeah, there's that. So we'll see how the rest of this season goes for Traders Canada, but right now it doesn't look good for the faithfuls. Now, the other show I've been watching this year is the Challenge, Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras. Love Rachel. I think Rachel is the one I'm rooting for to win on the ladies' side, even though Tori's there, and I do really like Tori quite a bit, but and I think the best moment of the season was Johnny Bananas not being able to pick Tori and Tori's reaction just yelling at him and laughing and giggling about. I was like, that's one of the greatest reactions I've ever seen. It's going to create gifts people are using 10, 20 years from now that they won't know where that's from. But Johnny Bananas is my favorite player on the challenge. I don't think it's close. I've been very happy that they've sent him into the arena and he keeps coming back. So I'm rooting for him to win it. And his angels. So that's Rachel, Aviv, who's dealing with plantar fasciitis, which hurts. So hopefully that gets healed up and she's okay and she's able to continue without any further trouble. But when you're in your 40s and you get plantar fasciitis, get it. It's painful. And then Jenny. Jenny has been kind of under the radar. The one thing that drove me nuts was this week. I think it was Michelle and Olivia talking about the ones that are Johnny's angels, and oh, they're just skating by. They're under his wing, and he's just dragging them there. Jenny's been in elimination. I think she's been the target 3 times she was targeted. I know Aviv went into the arena at least once already this season, and Rachel is a warrior. She was the sole survivor from Era 1, and she's still there. And she was able to win a challenge for eras by herself. So when I hear people saying, well, I mean, they're just skating by because they're with Johnny Bananas, are you kidding? Seriously? No. There's a reason he picked the women that he did. A, he gets along with them, and B, they're all pretty damn good at challenges. So makes sense that if you're going to partner up, you might as well partner up with them. There's nothing romantic or untoward going on with any of them. And I'm going to say this too. I think Michelle is underrated by herself. This week, hearing her saying, well, I just feel like I'm a step behind a lot of these people. And something along those lines that I'm not really, physically in that category. And I'm thinking, but Michelle's already survived at least one time in the arena that I remember, and it might even be 2. Now it's definitely 2. It might be 3. So it's interesting to see how some people have that self-confidence and some don't. But Bananas is running the show right now, and I'm here for it. I understand he's won 7 times. I'm starting to understand how he's won so many times, because the challenge isn't just about winning the physical challenges. It's the social game. He's very good at the social game, where people are, yapping at him and, oh, Johnny's the problem. And then he knows exactly how to plant seeds. Well, you think that guy's got your back, but I know for a fact you're not his number one. He's your number one. So you need to figure this out, because at some point in time, he's going to send you into the arena. So they all yell at him, but whoever he said that to remembers and goes to that other person who goes, well, he's not wrong. And then, so he's turning the alliances against one another, and he's slowly pushing out the other alliances. It's been interesting to watch. Now, he's a target for next week's episode, so we'll see whether or not he survives. But it's been fun, and I wanted to talk about that today, so here we are. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you're watching either the challenge or Traitors Canada. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.